welcome to SunnyRedemption Sailing, your bi-weekly voyage for BS3 gaming news. I'm playing this because real life is turning into a Call of Duty game as we speak. And in about 10 minutes, I will be playing some Black Ops Royale to get back to those 2018 feels when I first started really getting kind of good at Call of Duty. I almost went pro actually, but then they got rid of practically all of the interesting abilities, including Ajax. And I have played zero of Black Ops 7, so I have no idea how the maps play in the multiplayer at all. That is the only chance I'll have to have even slightly quiet moments to talk about gaming news, as opposed to just constantly being assaulted. Well, still feels as good as ever. It perfected that feel in 2005 with Call of Duty 2. That was my first ever Call of Duty. I begged and begged my mom for it until a coworker of hers got it for me on PCs with 7 CD-ROMs. I'm missing the first one, otherwise I would totally play that first version again, but well, I mainly play it on veteran mode now on my Xbox Series X, which is where I'm playing from. In any event, okay, somebody is shooting down here.
UAV established above.
Just a good way to warm up with the controls. But Call of Duty 2, that was my favorite campaign, and still is, even if there are ones with better story and better gameplay moments and things like that. Because, well, you never forget your first-person shooter, I feel like. Whether it's in the arcades or on a console or PC or whatever. And, well, Call of Duty 2 was trying to actually be about something. So was Black Ops, so was Black Ops 2, so were the Modern Warfare classic games. Like, there was actually a story that wasn't just a bunch of Marvel superheroes running around and saving the day from threats to America. They actually tried to say something about war. That yes, you have regenerating health and checkpoints in this video game, but the real people who really died do not have that. That's why I'm so fucking angry that Call of Duty is being memed right now by Defense Secretary Hegseth and other MAGA influencers like him. Because this isn't a government of serious people. This is a government of influencers who are just making content for the lulz about airstrikes, you know, that killed 100 people, 175 girls, you know, and yeah, a lot of war has become depersonalized for people because it's shown through social media and more relevant and personal than ever when it's just in front of your face, too. It's a paradox that a lot of people have talked about photography being revealing and also distancing, that a lot of people who are smarter than me have covered and debated in great depth that I cannot recall right now. While being shot at in a fake video game. That's the thing! Video games, no matter how good or realistic they are fake! So stop treating real life like a video game, please! Unless I guess you are a chud who never fucking grew up with all of the,
enemy care package detected
who never grew past all of the stupid racist insults or sexist insults or whatever that you did as a teenager. And then we're like, well, why don't people date me? Well, because you're a fucking moron who doesn't know how to talk to human people decently on an online service. I'm sorry. There's a line between trolling and just like saying get good and stuff like that and saying, oh, yeah, you know, you're such a F word or a T word or shut up, you sound like a girl. All things that have happened to me before. Or just shut up, we're trying to play a video game. Well, you know, even if you're in a squad of people who, all 4 of you have said stupid shit before, if somebody new comes in and they ask you to stop, you need to stop! There's just a lot of frustrating things about where Call of Duty has been going lately. And, one of them was the fact that a fucking battle pass was shoved in my face and that it was the first thing that popped up in a multiplayer lobby search. Like, I had to go over 3 times to get to the goddamn lobby. In a video game! Not a store simulator, a game! People play! And one that feels like Black Ops 6.5 at the moment. I mean, maybe the maps will be cool, but like, I originally committed to not playing this game ever because of its AI usage. And, well, unfortunately it seems like every game is going to incorporate AI at some level to save time.
Performance is trending below
So,
threshold.
You know, the catalyst really was Black Ops Royale and the Iran War stuff for me to really get into what makes Call of Duty tick. What makes first-person shooters tick. So, I have beaten High on Life 2, Mafia the Old Country, and Residentevilrequiem. And, so, I have a lot to talk about when it comes to shooters. And I'm really excited to hear from my good friend Kevin, who always provides me a good escape from this stupid world. I'm super excited to hear more about his upcoming trip to various California theme parks as well, so stay tuned for that. So any likes would be very appreciated. Not right now with the training course. Oh my god, this really does feel like modern AAA game bullcrap with a UI to match. Somehow I feel like Ubisoft, if they made this, would put less elements with blank spaces and tiny text boxes and giant text and constant, just in your face. That was part of the problem with me with modern Call of Duty. That, and how unbelievably annoying it was to install all the necessary components. Like, I thought I was done with installing Warzone. Nope, another 33 gigabytes for some reason. Can Call of Duty not be this 10-headed Hydra with games bolted onto each other like Frankenstein's monster, please? Well, I mean, well, let's see more. Oh, nope, I accidentally went into an ad for whatever this is. Just wanted to check my weapons. Yep, again with the fucking battle pass. Ugh. Can you stop? Please! Alright. Let me just get Kevin on and then we can begin. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm sounding very angry. Things are very stressful for me personally. I'll get into it next time, hopefully after I get past it. Life is turning into DLSS 5. That's why I'm calling the show Call of DLSS 5 on. Mega Zone.
Hold on. I do have the co-op installed, and I had what else? So I had Warzone, Black Ops,
Warzone is fine.
Installed.
Yeah, Warzone is what I want because then
okay,
we can at least
I
theoretically have some slow moments.
Said, yeah, it said I didn't have the required resources, but I have Warzone and the co-op campaign installed.
Oh boy, do you have to all match? That's so stupid.
You might have to load into Warzone first because it's not letting me like join the group.
Yeah, I was just saying, can I not have a commercial for whatever this is?
She's still breathing.
Oh, it's for Alex, whatever. I think, or whoever the guy was, the campaign that I never played. Okay, why is it saying endgame? No. multiplayer, right? That's where Warzone lives, isn't it?
No, it's its own thing.
Okay,
Like
so...
in the main Call of Duty thing. It's its
Oh,
own
right,
thing.
the Call of Duty menu for all of the Call of Duties. It's so... Brr. Like, okay. Now I can play that. I was just saying how annoying it is to have such a 10-headed monster of, like, multiple games bolted onto each other, but they wanted to make Call of Duty the live service. And, just have a mega Call of Duty for everything. Okay. 100 players, large maps, Battle Royale, oh, Black Ops Royale is what we want, obviously. Okay. I guess there's no option for duos. That's annoying, but I guess we have a couple of randoms who can be bullet sponges for us. Alrighty then.
There's no there's no option to like not fill the lobby or anything.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes battle royales have that.
Doesn't seem like it, unless there's another UI element that I missed in the sea of vomit. Well, first of all, while we're waiting, so you saw Project Hail Mary. How was that?
Yeah, it was very good. I knew very little going in, but I went with someone who read the book last year, so they, I was kind of relying on them to tell me, like, was it good compared to the book? And they were like, yeah, it was, a bit. I wasn't sure in what ways it was different. We didn't really get into that, but they were like, yeah, it was a little different in spots, or different how, my mind's eye pictured it. But, that's always going to be a book to movie adaptation is, whatever you see in your head for characters and stuff. So, like, as far as like adaptations go, it sounds like it was pretty successful. Like, it carried the themes of the book and everything pretty well. And it was just, in its own right as a movie, it was very, very well shot.
At least this is just the warm-up that everybody gets to do for 30 seconds or whatever before.
Yeah, at least I get a little practice in, because I don't think I've touched Warzone in a good 3-4 years, maybe.
Huh. Well, this is also the version of Warzone from when they first started to bolt a bunch of Black Ops maps together for Blackout. And they even had zombies, so I wonder if there's going to be zombies as well here. I mean, they apparently are putting in a casual mode soon, or maybe they have. I haven't really been checking, because there's been a ton of other things, like beating High on Life 2, Residentevilrequiem, and Mafia the Old Country, which I will talk about when we have a bit of a downtime as much as I can, as part of a broader overview of first-person shooters and why I like them. I already jumped, by the way, so...
Oh, I was waiting to see... I didn't... Oh, some of our team jumped. Alright, I'll think of where you guys are. I didn't see everyone else jump out. Alright.
I think maybe an enemy is on the roof.
Here.
Well, there we go.
Oh,
You're
someone
dead.
crossed away. I'm down.
Okay. I'll try and get you. No guarantees. But I'm glad you're on the same rooftop here.
Yep.
Come on. I thought we would have a bit of peace and quiet before getting into it, but I guess not.
Oh, I'm down already. Like, literally the second I got up.
Oh, yeah, I don't think our teammates saying the N-word on stream are gonna be helpful here. I can't stand those kinds of players who just treat everything like it's a joke. But, well, other people are attempting to carry us.
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect too much out of a Call of Duty lobby. Kind of always been like that.
Well, our entire fucking defense department is a Call of Duty lobby at this rate because of the fucking memes of calling in kill streaks on Iran. Where people have died. Like, for real. But Trump sees everything as a TV show, and Hegseth is annoyed that he's losing his game. Like, and then Vance is just, like, trying to bide his time, I guess. Oh, I used a redeploy token.
Okay,
cool.
Okay. I didn't know that was...
I didn't even know that was an auto thing, but it's cool. Whoa! Okay, hopefully this is a little quieter. The storm will apparently be. Oh, we need to get there in 3 minutes. Into the storm area in 3 minutes.
Yeah,
But,
I just wait. Okay, you landed somewhere else than me. I just landed near a helicopter, so I just grabbed that.
Oh, okay. Could you please pick me up with that?
Which color dot? Yo, you're green. Okay, yeah.
And I'm getting used to the fact that you're a orange dot.
Yep. Okay.
Well, that was very lucky. Thank you.
Yep.
Oh no!
Hold on. Try to land this
Crap.
properly. There we go.
Hey, you're doing better than like the F-35 pilot who got shot down by Kuwait. I hope
is
they're
our
okay.
team just hanging out down here?
Apparently so.
The rest of our team is just hanging out around the bridge. But see if anyone wants a ride. No. Okay.
Somebody got the ride along, at least. Well, we gotta get to the storm area, and while we do, that clip just infuriated me in a way that many of the other clips, even about Halo, have not. But like, at least Steve Downs stood on business and said, "Enough! Don't use my voice without my permission." I mean, it probably won't matter because
this guy want to ride?
Because literally, the president of the United States is a convicted felon who doesn't fucking care about breaking the law. But at least somebody with cultural cachet is standing against this. And at least, like, somebody saying that games used to stand for something other than just, oh, looky here, memes for the lulz about people dying. Like, they refuse to admit that they killed 175 girls in that elementary school and blame it on Iran. Iran has no clean hands either, since they just executed 3 protesters, including a teenage wrestling star. But, like, people need to learn that there can be 2 bad sides in a war. Like, instead of, oh, rah, 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 America, or, fuck the American Empire, Iran forever. Like, no, this is a criminal and despotic theocratic regime. Maybe the Pahlavi restorationists wouldn't be any better, but at least it'd be something different. However, it doesn't seem like the protesters are wanting to come out in the middle of being bombed. And also don't want to be shot by remaining security forces, because the IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, for those who don't know, they're decentralized on purpose for exactly this kind of thing. If Central Command is cut off from Tehran, they can operate autonomously. And they're very practiced already, so... but the central government has not fallen. I mean, it basically is meet the new boss, son of the old boss. But that was what they came up with. I don't even know how they managed to gather the 86-member assembly of experts together to decide this sort of thing. Normally they don't meet very often. I think it's like once every 5 years. And they're technically supposed to be able to veto the Supreme Leader's actions. The Constitution of Iran is actually kind of interesting if it was actually democratic in any way and wasn't rigged for pro-Islamic candidates who could, with others getting rejected by the Guardian Council, which literally just decides who can be in elections or not. And that's what President Trump wants to do, is he wants to have the ability to decide who gets to vote or not with this Save America bullcrap. That's why I warned my ex.
Well,
like,
if someone else wants to pilot, they can. I'm just checking out.
Can I get out of here, please?
I actually need a decent gun.
Yeah, can I get out of here, please? What's the button for that?
X.
Oh, but it was press X, and I normally used to hold X.
Relocating safe zone.
Changing mags!
Oh, that was okay.
Sorry, that was me. I thought you
It's
were
alright.
red. Maybe don't have colors that similar to red. Game. Okay. Wait, are
One of
you?
our teammates is down.
Of course they are. Oh, can I pick that up, please? That looks good. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of ammo, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I managed to get a kill with this pistol, so it's not nothing. It's just like compared.
Cradle bomb hazard decreasing. Sweep
Well, let's see. I mean, they literally said it in the Boston Globe. People are dying, and Hegseth is talking like he's a teenager on a Call of Duty bender, because that's who they're appealing to, is the Chuds with, like, lethality maxing? What the fuck are you on about? Ugh. Let's see. I mean, it was really nice this week. After some of my stress related to you-know-who got alleviated to some degree. Oh, well, I ascended by accident. I'm gonna go down and actually join you. Like
I was just seeing what was down here. It just leads all the way down. It's like a long stairwell.
Okay, so
I was just gonna hang out up here until the circle closes in. I don't know. I don't have any better ideas. This tends to be how I play battle royales. It's just like find a good hiding spot.
You know what? That's fine because then we can talk about gaming news. And
yeah, I'm pretty non-confrontational in these games. Like,
well, yeah, or just in games with PvP in general. It seems where you have the option at least. Like with Sea of Thieves, we're always running away, and that's perfectly valid.
Yeah.
98% of the time. Oh yeah, it's the fucking pokopia being used to promote manga again.
Oh yeah, that too.
All they can really say is all they can really say apparently the Pokemon Company is we don't have permission. You don't have permission to use our IP. But well, you know, maybe Nintendo's lawyers are like, we have this covered already.
I don't know what just happened, but someone just rammed into my helicopter. And now they're on the building that you're on, so look out. They're on the helipad.
Yep, I'm already shooting
at them. Can I just, like, crush them? Hold on. Can I, like, just come in and, like, ram them? No?
Hopefully.
Okay. Nope, critical damage.
Oh no! Did you fall to your death? Oh.
Well, my helicopter got critically damaged and I tried to get out, but it exploded as I was getting out.
Well, I downed him. I have avenged you.
Nice.
Okay, anyway. So yeah, and that fucking sucks because I've been playing quite a bit of Pokopia actually. The professor dude who's made of the Tangle Kelp, whatever the Pokemon's name is for that.
I actually don't know. I haven't watched much footage of it.
The thing about Pokopia is it does throw a lot of Pokemon at you, and managing comfort levels is an interesting gameplay loop. But I would have liked to focus on a few. At first, but still, you can go to him and he'll tell you what you need to do. So that's nice. I mean, all I've really done so far is build a few shelters, some campfires with Charmander.
Reinforcing armor.
And getting a few new Pokemon with the habitat system, which is really cool. Like, oh, you know, if you align these grass patches and trees or rocks, you get different potential types of Pokemon. I mean, I'm hooked for sure. It's definitely my game on Switch 2 that I'm playing when I have nothing else to play. Uh-oh, what's the contact fire? I don't like that sound. It sounds like a bomb. Well, I didn't play as much of it as I wanted to because I was so focused on beating Residentevilrequiem.
You know, I do have a question. When's the last time you brushed your teeth? Sorry, but I'm not on the menu.
This game is fantastic, and I know you said you didn't want any spoilers, but go in blind, dude, when it comes to the story.
Spoilers are okay, just nothing like major.
Oh, okay, that's what you meant. Well, good to know.
Like, I don't need to know, like, returning characters, if there are any.
Well, I mean, other than Leon Kennedy.
Obviously. Yeah, Leon, that one's obvious.
Well, okay, so, it's interesting, because, like, they feed off of each other, Grace and Leon, in very interesting ways. I mean, where it started to get a little sour with Leon's gameplay was an escort mission, where I had to snipe zombies to protect Grace, but, you know, him giving her the Requiem, the massive hand cannon at the center of the story, or at the center of Leon's loadout, was really cool. Because then it's like, oh, well, you know, it's this get out of jail free card, but you can only use it one time. Or how there are various things that only Grace can interact with, and only Leon can do in the care center, which takes up about 40% of the game, I would say, and is very, very reminiscent of the original mansion in terms of just like aura, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I don't know why they didn't use the original mansion. That's the only thing I'll say. But when you do return to familiar locations, it really hits hard from a writing and gameplay standpoint. Because for a lot of that, like, Capcom already had the models, they just needed to figure out how to make them look 30 years older and more damaged.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why nobody is getting cancer from, you know, a fucking nuclear explosion site, but that's Resident Evil for you. I mean, this is a game series where magic plants are green and heal you instantly, so... And I've been watching some memes about that sort of thing, with, like, Resident Evil 3 be like... Because a lot of Resident Evil content has been promoted for me, for obvious reasons. This game has just sold like gangbusters, the fastest selling Resident Evil in the titles in the series history.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they'll be able to have that again for a while because they don't have the surprise of Leon coming back. But did you hear that they originally were going to have it be a Leon and Jill Valentine focused co-op shooter with abilities set in Singapore?
Yeah, I did hear something like that, that it was going to be more like a co-op thing.
That was more
would
like
be very different.
that was more of an experimental sort of thing, while they were worried that the new direction with Resident Evil 7 Biohazard was not going the way that they wanted to. But then the game, while it had started slow, was picking back up. A lot of this is coming from, again, another Pounder McNasty documentary. It's like, we just are in sync with each other for some reason. But, well, actually, I might be wrong. This guy might be kind of decent. And then I jinxed it because he missed a lot.
Incoming fire!
Ow. What are you playing on an Atari 2600 joystick or something with that aim? But anyway, guess we're.
I'm back online.
Oh, somebody is redeploying, so
No,
we
this
still
guy's
have
still
some
in
chance to get unearned experience. Anyway, yeah, but it really feels like, even though they had a lot of different ideas that that didn't make it to concept, like apparently a scene where a doctor forces drugs down a kid's throat that they cut for being too disturbing, most likely. I forget which video I watched that explained this, but it was really cool to see just what they were thinking of. Oh, there's like, oh god, I can't really get into that much without major spoilers, so never mind. But Capcom has a history of this. I mean, I didn't realize it, but Resident Evil 4 went through like 5 different prototypes before the...
Yeah, I mean, and one of the original versions of it morphed into,
Devil May Cry. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
That's why Devil May Cry 1 kind of has that vibe. It's got a lot of, like, fixed camera angles and stuff.
Exactly. But did you know that they also turned the second prototype into another game called Haunting Ground for the PS2?
Oh yeah, yep, the PS2 Haunting Ground, yep.
Did you ever play that? I hear it was mixed.
No.
Win this thing.
Nope. I never ever saw it at like a Blockbuster or anything.
Probably the most modern version that people could have tried to play recently was the PS2 Classics version. Oh wow, that guy got run over by a helicopter. What a way to go for our team. But hey, 10th place is not bad for our first Warzone game ever.
Yeah.
When it's mostly been carried by other people who are just like really into the Call of Duty mindset, I guess.
I mean, I got a total of 1 assist, so that's better than nothing, I guess.
I got 1 kill and 2 deaths, so that's worse than nothing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the most modern version that people could play until recently was the PS2 Classics version for the PS3 store, but then they shut that down.
Yeah.
So it's whatever. Still, it's like there's always been a spirit of creativity at Capcom, like, and of sharing ideas. Like apparently, the hair physics from Pragmata were very easily imported into Requiem, because then they figured that that would make it a lot more natural, especially with the scene that you may have seen in like clips or something of Grace hanging upside down.
Yeah, I have seen that in somewhere.
That was so cool. The graphics are so cool. Like I said, it looks and plays fantastic on Switch too, except for a couple of parts where there's a lot of zombies fighting Leon and a lot of water or fire on screen, where it gets noticeably blurrier and a bit 30 FPS. But I think that the VRR kicked in for the handheld mode, because I never really felt like it was unplayable or anything. And you know what? Like a couple of instances of performance loss is fine for a console that I could literally fit in a backpack. To have a game this good on my TV and in my bed is so amazing. I can't wait for the DLC either, because I'm pretty sure that they're gonna do a free follow-up with the like I said, this stuff is overstimulating for me. At least I've claimed tiers of a friggin' store pass. Ugh. What did I buy though with some rewards points? Microsoft. Part of history? Alright, let's dismiss that and try another game.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, I actually just bought finally Final Fantasy VII Remake on Xbox.
Okay.
That's on sale right now for $24, I think.
Wow.
So I redeemed a bunch of points to get that.
That's
I
nice.
couldn't justify it to myself to buy it full price at $40 because I was like, well, I forget if I platinumed it on PS5, but I came very close to it. So it's like, yeah, it's been 5 years since I played it, but I can wait for a sale.
Yeah, yeah. And,
Go back on Xbox because I was like, I want to play it on Xbox eventually because the third part's going to be multi-platform, so I want to have a save
cool.
on Xbox by then. I mean, that's what they're saying at least. That's in the implication.
Oh
that
yeah, I think I did read about that somewhere.
It's going to be either a much shorter time because the time from Rebirth coming multi-platform is like 2 years as opposed to 5+ years. So
I think
it
I heard
seems
it was multi-plat. Let me look it up. I have it on
Yeah.
Steam anyway, so I didn't bother. But it would have been a cool price if I hadn't gotten it.
Yeah, so I was like, I just played through the intro bit so far, but I'm probably gonna, try to finish Remake before Rebirth comes out on Xbox, I believe, in a couple months, and then, eventually play the third part whenever that exists. I can see that getting revealed, because it's been over 2 years at this point since Rebirth came out, so I feel like they're probably at a point where they're close to revealing Part 3, because it was maybe like 2.5 years after Remake came out that they started teasing Rebirth, so I could see like either a summertime kind of one of the showcases it showing up, or if not, probably by Game Awards time.
Well, they did confirm on February 17th from the director, Naoki Hamaguchi, that the series will go multi-platform day and date.
Yeah, that's what I thought I read.
I heard this from Tech Radar. Anyway, so that's cool. And the game that I ended up buying with $10 worth of Microsoft Rewards points for half off was Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War. The first-person shooting parts of it remind me of why I love first-person shooters, with just how frantic and chaotic, but also empowering the battlefield is.
is secure, Ors.
Good work, Sammy. Hope you got something you can use. Still plenty of
The bug mission, I am still stuck on, the tutorial. I don't know what exactly it is. I just keep getting immediately eliminated in certain places, and it's just I'm getting too many things hitting me at once. So I might just quit it and just do the human campaign, and that's it. Because, well, it's a good try. It feels pretty good to play. It's just that I'm so confused about a lot of it. But yeah, like that whole universe is a lot more interesting than I thought, and this game has definitely gotten me interested in seeing the movie for the first time since college. Of course, the kinds of people who would benefit from that lesson that the movie teaches, that, you know, glorifying war in the service of a fascist regime is not a good thing, are exactly the kinds of people who will miss it. Because satire is lost on the satirized. That's exactly what has happened to Warhammer 40,000. No matter how many times they try to say, oh, we're not about that. Yeah, no, a certain part of your fan base absolutely is. And you just have to deal with that somehow. I mean, it's difficult because for these long-running franchises, because art wants to say something, but then there are people who just enjoy art despite being stupid.
Yeah, that's always been the way of the world, unfortunately. Like, plenty of, like,
I'm right on ammo.
plenty of stuff just goes right over people's heads.
The printed
It's
press
like,
was
well,
a
what can you
mistake.
do?
Just kidding.
Reloading.
But, well, this is also a country where only 54% of adults read above a 6th grade level.
Yeah.
So that is a generational and systemic problem with American education that is a much longer debate about how to fix, for sure. But it's definitely inured a lot of people to anything that isn't going on immediately outside their doors. And you know, maybe it's not healthy for someone like me who has empathy overload from this kind of stuff to be so on top of the news, but it feels like that's necessary to survive with all the chaos that goes on.
Yeah. Oh, I'm dead.
Okay. Where are you exactly?
I was in a building trying to find any kind of gun. I just had my starting pistol still.
I think I'm just inside the storm zone, so I think I'll just camp out here. And,
Okay. I've got to respawn in 25 seconds.
But I guess that's why so much of art now is about making things so obvious.
Last mag!
For the people who are half on their phones in the back or whatever.
Only 25 remain.
Because
yeah, I mean,
people
that's
aren't
been a
paying
thing,
attention.
like, the theaters I've gone to, it's infuriating. Just, like, multiple people on their phones in front of me. I just don't understand it. I never will.
When I called a manager at my Alamo about it, well, I don't know if I'll ever go back there after they said, okay, yeah, you can use your phones for ordering things, which is like, what? But, that's a Sony move for you. Anyway, the woman who I called on then proceeded to immediately chew her popcorn as loudly as possible to fuck with me, I guess. People are so selfish now, and, well, there's an argument to be made that people just vote for what's comfortable for them or what they feel like is going to immediately eliminate their pain, even if it's just, oh, trans people are out to get you. That was a large portion of the messaging, even if it wasn't the main reason that Trump won last election. You know, because apparently democracy is less important than the specter of non-existent assaults in bathrooms. I don't get this country sometimes, but, you know, there was this guy who just said, well, maybe I'm an idiot, after having voted for Trump 3 times because of gas prices. I guess if that's what people need to wake up, gas being almost $4 a gallon, because of the Iran war and the geography of the Strait of Hormuz being nearly impossible to keep clear in the middle of an active war zone, then maybe that's what has to happen. But it's so infuriating that Well, again, not that people are reading the news all the time, but like that people are just burying their heads in the sand about everything until it affects them personally. And again, maybe that's just human psychology in general, and maybe I'm just a freaking alien. Which is why I'm really enjoying roadside research.
Oh yeah.
We gotta play that next time.
I never checked that out. Yeah, remind me, because I did install it at one point. I might have uninstalled it, but I never
It
actually
has a
loaded it
short
up.
tutorial, I think, and then you can go into multiplayer, or you can just... No, actually, I think you can just join a friend right away, because what I did to get my bearings was do the single player. And it's a little bit much to do, just because you're one alien with a human face taped to your face, you know, serving people all sorts of amazingly nutritious food and drinks, and cleaning up the place and cleaning up the goop that you leave behind so people aren't suspicious that you're an alien. I thought that was the main thing, and was like, uh-oh, this might be too easy. But then there are upgrades later on down the tree that give you a lot more money, but also raise people's suspicions of you. Like plushies, apparently. I'm not sure how that works, but hey, that's cool. Oh crap, oh crap, who's shooting me? Ah. Well, I'm dead, and I think with that, our chance.
Here.
But that's okay. Oh,
gotta
yeah,
be
redeploy token. I think everybody gets one.
Oh, okay.
Alright, time to go to the Coliseum. Or amphitheater, or whatever this is. I think this might be from the end game area of the campaign, where it's like, go kill 32 players, and that's the end of the campaign. I am not looking forward to trying that, but I really am intensely curious to at some point and co-op with you.
Yeah, I was going to, after this, do you want to just load that up and see how that goes?
Sure.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I'm not really feeling... I've never really been a Warzone person. I was down to try it, but it's kind of more of the same as what I've played before in Warzone.
Yeah, it feels very samey for sure. The only thing is that I'll need to drastically lower the volume of people talking very quickly, but that should be doable.
We received intel there's valuable supplies.
Apparently there's a loadout box there, so I'm gonna try and get to that.
Capture the tower to redeploy a squad. Stay sharp.
It's just so hard to read much of anything in this new Warzone because I have been away for so long. It sort of seems like it's a love it or hate it sort of thing now. Because this does not feel like Blackout at all. It's wearing Blackout's skin, but it's hard to explain from what a game felt like 8 years ago, but it was really, really fun. Maybe it was just because I was really into Battle Royales at the time and I'm really not now. Maybe it was because I was just having fun with my cousins in a full squad and we were all laughing, you know, the good old days. But then again, it might also just be that this was new for Call of Duty and exciting, and now there's like 70 Battle Royales coming out every week and 69 of them are failing and it's not nice. I'll be honest, there's probably more games failing than I can possibly research. But anyway, I'm just defending the stairwell here.
Reloading.
That guy had a lot of shit. Nice. God damn it, this guy was like jump sliding, canceling all over the place.
Contact.
Well, he'll probably I'll probably be part of his montage later or something.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember loving that early Call of Duty YouTube culture of like 360 no scopes and nice, because I was like, I can never be good at that. I'm just really excited. And back when at his peak, Woody's gamertag was like an older uncle who played Call of Duty while teenagers advice about stuff. Anyway, let's leave and load up the campaign, and then Black Ops 7, and then co-op campaign with a laggy menu for some reason.
All right, looks like it brought me with you. I was gonna say I don't even have a cutscene. I'm still on the menu.
Okay. Wait, are you still in the menu or?
Yeah, it says I'm in your party, and I'm just on like the co-op campaign lobby menu. It says waiting for party leader.
Okay.
It looks like I am in your party.
Oh, it's David Mason. That's the thing. That's who's here. And they're doing the whole press F to pay respects funeral scene again. In memory of Frank Woods. I mean, that should have hit hard, but it's like, that was elder abuse, that last campaign. That's what I'm worried about with like Leon, is eventually they're gonna kill him off.
David?
Or, you know, or just have him be so old. But they'll probably get many more games out of Resident Evil before then.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Leon's gonna be in sort of a Kiryu zone in the like the Dragon games where it's like, well, they can.
Woods.
I don't think they're gonna truly get rid of him. He sells too many games, too many copies of the games to actually get rid of him.
Yeah, that's why the whole section of like going through memories in
Let's walk.
Like a Dragon Infinite World rings a little false to me, because it's like they're not gonna really kill him with cancer, are they?
Yeah, I mean,
What are you feeling?
hey, the next game
You know I
maybe they'll
killed him.
surprise me,
Of course I do.
but the way
does
Infinite
that?
Wealth ended. Well, I won't get into it since you have to finish
I was
that. So
convinced.
Yeah, I still
I'll-
need to finish that
I'll-
and play
let me
Pirate
let me
Yakuza
stop
Hawaii.
right there. Yeah,
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
will stop right
You
there.
have to decide what's right again.
This guy.
Well,
I did finish Yakuza Kiwami 3 and
Link
the
wasn't even
Dark
trying to
Ties
debrief by
like
the time this
side
video
game
dropped.
finally.
okay.
I think last time we talked I'd mentioned I
followers.
beat Kiwami
Practically
3 and I
burned
finally
the world
finished
down.
the other game.
Killing the man.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
okay.
is
Hell of a lot
probably the
easier than
dumbest
killing the
ending to a
idea.
video game I've seen in a long
Sometimes one
time.
doesn't need to the
Yeah,
And
go,
not in a good way.
go off, King, because they said that
Damn it.
a bunch of idiots online said that you were making
Refuses to
shallow,
let me go.
repetitive takes. So get into all the details
Maybe
while
it's
I
not Royal
just
Menendez
listen,
to fight
because I do not know or care
Stop
about
looking
the
back.
story of that, and just want to
I
laugh.
mean,
Matters is what you do
just
next.
the direction that
We're
they're
sending you
taking
out
with the
tomorrow
series,
morning.
it
We,
feels like they're sort of
some intel
event
that
like
the guild
they're
is
kind of
running
like
a
going
psyop
back
at
to
a
old
level.
games now. It's one thing to have
Timing can't be
with
coincidental.
what they did with
This video is a
what's it called? Kiryu's side game before Infinite Wealth, where it's like, okay, he's a secret agent essentially, and there's this whole thing, and it's like, okay, that's cool for that game, and they included some of that in Infinite Wealth as well. But now they're kind of going back to the older games and adding them into that, and now it's like, oh, but they were actually in Yakuza 3 as well, and the main villain of that game, who died the most final death that you could die by falling off a 50-story building, actually landed in some bushes, and he just walked off just fine, inexplicably.
Really?
And now he
Fucking
lurks in the
bushes.
shadows. He
Are
got
you
recruited
kidding
by
me?
this organization supposedly, and lurks in the shadows now. And it's
Ugh.
like, I just don't know where to start with that, because there's plenty of dumb things in Yakuza. I'll never accuse it of being like a grounded, realistic series, but I mean, there is a breaking point with that, and I'm just like, I just don't understand. Like, and then they go and say they're not doing a Kiwami 4, which is something they came out and said, and that just makes me go like, okay, well, if you guys aren't planning on like retconning more stuff, what was the point of this whole endeavor to like drastically change the ending of the game, which I think Yakuza 3 had one of the stronger endings in the series, and this just like completely upends it in every way. The characterization of the main villain of that game, which I guess I'll just say it's Mine. Like he has such an interesting, complex dynamic with like Daigo, Dojima, and Kiryu, like mostly Daigo, but he has like, you know, he's one of the more interesting villains in that series in that he's sort of is sympathetic in some ways, and you can kind of see his sort of like spiral into what he ends up doing throughout the game. And it's like all that's well and good, and it's cool in the side game Dark Ties, you kind of see that illustrated more rather than just explained, so you actually get to play through some of that, and that was cool. But then just to have it go from that to it's mostly just the last couple scenes that they changed, that it's why do this? Why like tripping over yourselves at the very end to, I don't know, maybe they just felt like they had to change it up to put their own stamp on it. I don't know.
It's one thing to do that smartly
at all.
With like with the past Resident Evil games where they're going to make tweaks. There's some suggestions floating around that they're going to get to Resident Evil 5 as the next remake for various story spoiler related reasons.
When you gotta do some work to that to really get that story to be okay, because that story is
exactly. Smart tweaks that incorporate some small retcons that I don't really understand because I didn't play the originals, but I'm enjoying these games fine. And then it's also one thing to have an incredibly shocking ending to a game, as in Mafia the Old Country. I'm not going to spoil anything about that, because even though you can see the plot coming from like a million miles away as soon as you load up the game, you have to load up the game to get it, and they really take the time to add texture to not only the world, but the relationships between the characters. Is it the greatest written piece of Mafia related literature ever? No, it's not The Godfather. But it is very excellent. And it blew my mind that they ended it the way they did. And then on the other hand, in another example of people tripping over their feet, you have Life is Strange Double Exposure, which I spoiled myself on that goddamn ending. And I'm like, why did you ever make me care about Safi at all? She is a stupid monster.
Okay, well, don't say too much because I still haven't beaten that. I'm like 3/4 of the way.
Oh wow, you haven't finished that yet. I'm just skipping ahead.
I've been meaning to.
I bought it on Steam on sale for $20 because I wanted to see how this engine would perform. It has to perform at like 50% resolution scale at 720p with AMD FSR3, but it runs very smoothly at 60 FPS. The problem is, I remembered why I dropped the game at first again, and a lot of it was the boring chores for people I literally just met who I have no idea why I'm supposed to care. It feels like this game is the middle of a very different game, and that they just have a different character wearing Max Caulfield's skin, which is borderline unacceptable to me, especially because they're not going to bring in any returning Life is Strange characters for Reunion, even ones that you see in text messages other than Chloe. And it's like, come on! Not even Kate? Like, if Kate had been the one who died, after you spent all that time saving her, that would be, again, one thing. But setting up all these new characters that we're supposed to care about and then making them so threadbare with some of the lamest dialogue, even for this series, and a bunch of chores is not fun. It's anti-fun, even. And then, so I decided to look up the ending, and I was just like, who came up with this bullshit? It's so stupid. I
remember us talking a bit about some of the mid-game stuff, and I was definitely holding off on playing more last year because, like, I didn't like where the game was going. And based on your reaction to the ending, I'm betting that I can kind of guess it what direction that it's going. I'll try to see for myself at some point. I probably won't have time before I leave for LA, and I know Reunion comes out while I'm in LA, I believe, so but I definitely will
Yeah.
try to beat it in the next week or two.
We'll talk about that later in the show, people, so please like and subscribe but to hear more about Kevin's trip to LA in 2 weeks when he gets back. Anyway, let's finally suffer this campaign.
Colonel, we're over the southern border of Avalon. Got the infill location marked.
Oh yeah.
That's the place. Our guild insider identified it as their key R&D facility.
Now all the
Focus
stupid terminology from the last campaign is coming back to me.
Just get in there.
I'm not sure whether that's a good thing.
And extract whatever data you can.
We'll confirm if there's a threat. Dead or alive, Menendez already caused enough suffering. That's not gonna happen again.
Why do they keep bringing this old man back in Spectre form? Like, it doesn't matter. We already know he's not really alive. Like, what are you doing? Anyway. So yeah, I'll almost be kind of relieved if Life is Strange Reunion doesn't perform well on my computer and I refund it for that reason.
Yeah.
But if I do like it, I'll let you know. I'm just gonna skip
Okay.
ahead, and if a lot of the story doesn't make sense because it relies on the new characters, then I'll just look those parts up. Like, life is too short to play 12 hours of double exposure. After beating 3 games in a row this week. I'm fine with not pursuing that. And of those 3, High on Life 2 was the weakest because, a lot like Call of Duty, it just doesn't really know what it wants to be. Does it want to say something serious about, like, pharmaceutical companies? Does it want to be funny? Does it want to be an open world? Does it want to be a skateboarding game? Like, the skateboard just really isn't as utilized as I thought it would be. And there's just so many mechanics that come into play that I only really started to click with them about an hour from the end. I had a very similar problem with Doom the Dark Ages where that freaking shield took forever to feel good. And then about halfway through the game, which is better, it looked and felt great, but it just was such an odd system that never really congealed. Maybe by High on Life 3 they'll really nail it, but I feel like the player character needs to have at least some personality because they keep going through a bunch of bullshit for everybody else in their life and don't live for themselves, but maybe that's just me. I mean, I used to think that Silence protagonists were stupid, and this was back in like the teenage days when I was like, oh, but I can't really understand where this character is coming from.
Yeah.
But you know, that can be done well, of course. Bioshock 1 and 2 are my favorite games of all time for a reason, and they only grunt. But so that's not a determinative factor. But very big but when the plot really does happen around you this much and people are just talking at you so much exposition, it gets really repetitive and annoying. Like, I had a lot of the same problem with Half-Life 2, where it's just like, oh, Gordon's this amazing, brilliant scientist, just stands there and stares. Like, it's a great game, don't get me wrong. It kind of shows its age in a lot of the gameplay elements, but the silent protagonist is a minor but noticeable problem for me. Still, it's like, you know, even a little bit more choice that pretended to matter even would be interesting, because there's like some cosmetic related choices that are kind of funny at first, and then it's like, oh yeah, this is just so limited. Like, why spend so much time building this huge ass city that you can skateboard all around only for there to be barely any side content? Oh, the exhibits are attacking! Crap. Well, the Division 3 looks pretty great. Just kidding. That's what this is. It feels like.
I know.
With all the spongy enemies and stuff.
Taking fire!
Let's move on.
We know the guild is connected to the Menendez
More robots.
radio, but how and why?
More robots
what that
indeed.
was.
Never enough robots. Ah. Like, you know what the side content in High on Life 2 amounts to? Opening boxes for more credits after beating a handful of enemies. Like, seriously? And I think there's wanted posters that are okay, I guess. It's just like, what? Okay, we gotta find the server room, wherever that is.
I assumed it was through this barrier. It looks like the waypoint's right here. Do we both have to be like right up against it? I don't know. Oh, it's security booth. Oh, got it. Okay. Oh, we just break the window. That's right.
Yep. Guess so. Yeah, it's totally great that they couldn't just put a waypoint there, or, you know, have a more diegetic way of doing that. Just have a character tell you over the radio. Because we gotta get this game out in a year, or whatever.
That's not the way to go. Just want to shoot the servers? What are we trying to do?
Apparently, that does something.
I mean, is that just for, like, visual effect, or is it actually... I feel like... Oh, wait, oh, there's a thing right here. I totally missed this room. How do we... Do we just shoot it? Okay.
Yeah.
I should have known that the solution in the Call of Duty game is to shoot the thing. Okay, now the barricade's open. Okay, are we allowed to just walk past these guys?
I was just saying,
Nope,
too.
oh, they're fighting now. Okay.
Yeah, no stealth section here. Though there were a couple of forced stealth sections in Requiem that I didn't like. Let me get you up. Hang on.
Up you go.
At least revive is slightly faster. Makes sense.
Yeah. I didn't realize we had health bars, to be honest.
Okay, so how is this a rare achievement? Like, I'm down back where you were. It was for reviving a teammate in the campaign, which means this campaign must have been a disaster. With if less than 10% of players did that.
So, the way rare achievements work is like it's a percentage of everyone who's launched the game, and I'm betting a lot of people just launch the client and play Warzone.
That's a good point.
The same thing happened with like Halo Infinite, where I remember we were playing it and like every achievement we got was rare, because like only a percentage of people are even going to touch the campaign. A lot of them were loading just the free-to-play Infinite client and playing this multiplayer.
And people wonder why campaigns are going downhill, but again, it was great to enjoy quality campaigns. It's me and the computer. Telling a story. I feel like a lot of these gigantic FPS games have forgotten how to do that sort of thing. Because they think that it's required, but don't really know what they're about. Like, again, I'm glad that Capcom scrapped the multiplayer mode, even though that probably would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good multiplayer Resident Evil stuff, but it's always like a side mode, for the most part. Except for like Resident Evil Revelations 2, which was a pretty good co-op game. Like, you know, it's very rare that they actually...
Oh, and if we're talking just co-op of like the campaigns, then I feel like 5 was really good, and 6 gets a lot of bad rap, though it definitely has a lot of problems.
6 has enough problems that I'm not willing to defend it too hard, but it was fun in places. I had an okay time with 6 when it came out, but even then I was like, okay, this series needs to pivot to something besides whatever this game is supposed to be.
Well, it's like you predicted the future, because that's exactly what happened with 7.
Yeah, I mean, that was just the very common sentiment then, like, oh, they cannot make a Resident Evil 7, that's just more of this.
And I can completely understand why Requiem took longer, because they had first-person and third-person animations for practically everything. and subtly different animations apparently depending on certain costumes. Among other things, they really needed to iron out what the game was about, and
there we go.
they originally wanted to have Leon be the one doing the survival horror, but then people were like, nah, nobody's gonna buy that Leon is, you know, cowering in the corner with 3 pistol bullets. This guy comes prepared now, after 28 years later. To finally watch that movie and the Bone Temple, but I'm very nervous for that. Press A to continue. Okay. Jailbreak machine. So basically, pack a punch, I guess.
Sure.
Speaking of movies, whatever. I recently watched Hamnet on Peacock. This movie is awful. And it's the epitome of everything wrong with the Oscars. Oh, just like sappy, corny dialogue, melodrama, barely sketched out characters, and really, if you take away a few Shakespeare quotes and about the last 40 minutes of the movie, which I hear is better, but I literally have never DNF'd a movie since Napoleon Dynamite when I was 12. Come at me, it's overrated. But, well, I just couldn't. I stopped after about an hour and a half because I just couldn't with this movie. It was just, it was too fast with the important events, and then it was too slow with the important events as well. It's hard to explain just how boring this movie is until you actually try. But again, take away the Shakespeare stuff, and it's just about an absentee dad sticking a single mom with a bunch of problems in the 17th century. The worst century to need medical care, basically. So
yeah.
I mean, all of them were the worst until the invention of penicillin, but well, technology apparently now is being used for very different things. Like people complaining about about being forced to play a female mechanic in a video game.
Oh no.
It's Honcho by the makers of Jalopy. They decided to, oh no, how dare I be forced to play as somebody I don't like. I mean, you know, I get that you would want to play as yourself, but, you know, there's been plenty of games where I have had to play somebody different. Like, nobody should be complaining about being, quote-unquote, forced to play a black man in Mafia 3, because that has a very specific story that it wants to tell. You know, you can have your custom characters and all of that, but the game has to adapt around that, and that's hard. Anyway. Oh, it's a hacking mini game.
Yeah,
okay.
I did one of those earlier. Just a little rotating thing.
Yeah, not the worst puzzle in the world, but... Well, the information's all flowing correctly, I just don't know how to actually get it to the... Okay, there we go.
Redundant system lock still active.
Well, that was at least a lot easier than the puzzles in Requiem. Which, many of them are not my favorite. But, you know, it's all in service of the incredibly convoluted way that people apparently get through buildings in Resident Evil games. That's like 75% of the reason why the apocalypses are as bad as they are, is because it's like, how do people get in here normally? I think they actually addressed this a little bit in the remake for RE2, where the police officers were like, I don't know where anything is in this converted art museum that we have as our police station for some reason. And, you know, it didn't help that Team Irons was sabotaging everything on behalf of Umbrella, and that Umbrella controlled the government, basically. So... As for that, we'll see where it goes, but I like this new sinister organization. That's all I'll say about that. Oh, but to, you know, tie that into my point about Honcho, the developer actually is a huge fan of tofu. And so
yeah, I saw an Easter egg with Tofu,
Oh, okay.
like outside of a window. I did see that somewhere, so I'm aware that Tofu's in the game.
Oh, but, well, he decided to put in a giant block of tofu as a compromise
yeah,
because he was explaining.
that's an actual character in the game. That's an actual Easter egg in the old Resident Evil games called Tofu.
Oh no, I'm talking about Honcho. The developer put that into Honcho as a compromise
I
for
thought you were
people.
talking about Resident Evil. Oh, okay, got it. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay, I didn't hear about that.
So
I
yeah,
thought you
that
meant
was
the
my
one in
point.
Requiem. Yeah.
But yeah, that is cool. If I ever play that game again, I definitely will check that out. Cause, like, again, those parts that are really annoying are really annoying. Same with Mafia, so I'm not really sure how I'm gonna justify replaying those games anytime soon. But well, again, the paid DLC is gonna come out with Leon and Grace's mother, is the rumor. So probably a prequel. That hints at the future to give them more time. I'm like, take the time you need, my friends, because if you are delivering this quality, then, you know, Resident Evil is so back. And I'm super excited about that. And also have installed the original game. The remake for Xbox. Or the remaster of the remake from 2002.
Yeah.
Because I just got so intensely curious. And sorry about the suckiness on sniper rifles, people. I just have always sucked at single shot rifles. Though the rifle that is in both the rifles that are in Requiem are really good and play really well. It definitely feels better to aim in first person, for sure. I don't know what it is, but it helps to have the third person for Leon for most of it, and then have sights on the guns that did first person.
Under fire!
Got one snipe, nice. I mean, so far this is not the worst Call of Duty campaign I've ever played, but I'll probably have already forgotten what the point of the story was by the time it's over.
Yeah,
kind of
I mean,
thing.
I'm
So that's
really
another
not
reason.
here for the story, so.
I don't think
you know, I think this is probably my favorite form of Call of Duty, though, honestly, is co-op, when they actually bother to do something like a campaign co-op style thing. Yeah, because I remember the Modern Warfare 2 missions, I had a blast doing those.
Well, Black Ops 3, like I said, when we last talked about Call of Duty descending into ruin and slop, was far, far better. And as I mentioned before, also has a co-op zombies campaign that just basically is the campaign backwards with zombies.
Huh.
So ase we try that out. If I don't think it's on Game Pass, but if it's ever on sale.
Not yet, but yeah,
well,
totally. I see it for like $5 on disc pretty regularly, so
yeah,
I could always just grab it.
If you find that at your retro game store, then
oh yeah, it's all over the place. They always have multiple copies.
Yeah, but at this point the game is sold.
Yeah, I do own the 360 version, but I know that
doesn't
wouldn't
work.
have a way to play that online.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's probably not cross-platform either, but
No.
because I bought the PC version hoping to play on that, but they couldn't even do that. So, and then I remembered that they did the cross-platform stuff a lot later for Call of Duty.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been Black Ops 3.
Anyway.
And as you can see, I'm alive.
Wait, are they teasing us again about him?
You are, so drop the bullshit.
A necessary first step.
It's like
a familiar face. How about now, David Mason?
Emma Kagan, CEO of the guild.
Thank you for re-explaining the
Shouldn't you be
plot.
counting stacks of money somewhere?
Oh, that comes later. First, I'd like you to experience the guild's most intriguing new product.
You did come all this way.
Well, you know, Iran has made a propaganda video of their own with Lego, Epstein, and Netanyahu and Trump being attacked by Satan. It's like, you know, I can respect the game, I guess. If one side is gonna start
discuss it in person, bitch.
weaponizing culture for propaganda in a war, then I guess the other gets to too. It's so annoying, though, as I mentioned.
Yeah, about that.
Oh, and I did check out, by the way, speaking of games where people roleplay war, or war journalism, I did check out Arc Raiders on Steam, because they got rid of the AI voice acting in favor of humans.
Yeah, I know.
It does not play
I think
well
we
on my
mentioned
PC at all.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I'm hoping it goes on sale on Xbox at some point. But it probably won't be on my radar anytime soon because my refund for Marathon was denied. Apparently. I didn't get an email about it, but I assume that's what happened because they didn't respond in 72 hours with a confirmation. So I'm stuck with Marathon and have to hope that that game doesn't die. It just was so hard at first, and hopefully there's a few balance patches. And sale. Oh, what? Total containment failure. I forgot about the fact that they have zombies in this.
We gotta get out of here.
And like, none of this was supposed to be Call of Duty for me. Again, I don't mind that the series moved away from recreating past wars to telling fictional wars. That's not the problem. There's some excellent Call of Duty games based on that, but at least they tried to be grounded instead of just using viruses as an excuse for everything, or magic gas. Like,
now suffer with me, or did you forget?
Oh yeah, this is gonna lead to that giant boss fight at the end, isn't it?
I would assume so.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with never playing this campaign after tonight. Honestly.
I mean, I'm having fun. I'm just here for the shooting, and the shooting's still good.
Yeah, I mean the shooting's fun. You know what? If you're having fun, we can have fun together, laughing at how stupid it is.
Yeah, I've heard this campaign's like 3 or 4 hours, so it's not as if you're gonna.
Oh wow, really?
You know.
God.
Yeah.
That's on the short side even for Call of Duty.
Yeah. I think I'm at the exit. I'm at the waypoint. I might have to just wait for you. Oh, you're right there. Yeah, come down where I'm at. Just my icon.
Guess so.
This hallway.
And even Black Ops 3, for how stupid of a story its campaign had, did the whole, mindfuckery thing better.
Abby, it brings me such satisfaction to see you here. But you have been a witness to my work. Dare I say, a collaborator as well. You will know fear.
Go back to your retirement home there, Grandpa. Oh, speaking of things that are infecting everything about gaming, DLSS 5.
Oh yeah. That sure was something. It was amazing how quickly that video came out, and it felt like they thought it was going to blow everyone's minds, and then they just had to like immediately backpedal.
Say, oh, this is just a beta, blah blah blah. No, yeah. You're trying to sell 5090s on this.
Yeah, like you guys felt confident enough to show it off as if it was the best thing since sliced bread, and then everyone correctly was like, "Oh, this looks terrible." Not to mention just like the artistic implications.
Yeah, now because they work, there are powers. Okay, whatever.
Another jump ready. Oh, we just have like a sprint jump now. Okay.
Right, because we're all in mindfuck land.
confront Menendez.
Yeah, why not?
Somehow I know it's
Do you
the
know
only
if this
way
game
out.
has like discrete missions or anything? Or does it just keep kind of rolling?
I am not sure, actually.
Okay.
Maybe we just
Probably gonna
finish
have to
whatever
call
this
Yeah, this is all familiar.
is.
Yeah, let's get through this little bit and then probably gonna have to call it a night. 'Cause I still have to pack for my trip and
Perfectly
stuff
fair.
tomorrow to pack.
Gotta wrap something, including explaining what your trip actually is.
Oh yeah, I didn't mention that on the actual show. Yeah, I'm going down for a Japanese like YouTuber concert, and then just while I'm there, I might as well do all the theme parks I've never done out there. So doing Disneyland, Knottsberry Farm, and Six Flags Magic Mountain.
And then
If all goes to plan, some of that stuff could go wrong, or you know, that's my plan. If I only make it to 2 out of 3 of those, then I'll still consider it a good trip.
yeah, that sounds really cool. I'm especially jealous of Knottsberry.
Yeah. My mom's excited for that too, because she went in the 70s and she was like, that was her favorite thing when she went with her mom 50 years ago.
I guess you'll have to tell me how it is with all the consolidation after all those years, but
I mean, Knott's Berry Farm still has a pretty good reputation, all things considered. Like, they've kind of kept things very, like, homespun. And they've been owned by Cedar Fair for decades at this point, so it's not as if, you know, Cedar Fair has done right by them, it seems like, so.
that's good. Yeah, I just was nervous with the new Six Flags behemoth that seems to be struggling. But, well, yeah, enjoy. And I'm also nervous about how Disneyland will be crowd-wise such for you.
It looks like it should be a relatively light week.
Call it an airstrike?
Like, because I self-revived.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You were saying.
Yeah, it should be a relatively light week. Like, it's kind of in between the spring break crowds, like the college age. Oh, that's an enemy airstrike, I think.
Okay, anyway,
Okay.
you were saying?
Yeah, it's like between the college spring break crowds and like the grade school spring break crowds, so should be threading the needle on that, hopefully.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm not expecting huge crowds, and if there are huge crowds, I'm willing to pay for the lightning lane stuff. Not like the super expensive lightning lane that's like $200, but the $30 one that at least lets you book, you know, rides in advance.
Yeah, that sort of stuff is why I would do Universal instead, but, well, let me know how it is.
I planned on doing Universal, but I was counting on the new coaster to be open by then if I was going to do Universal.
Which one?
So I figured I might as well. They're opening the Fast and Furious coaster, and it's like literally testing right now, but I don't think it's going to open like next week or anything. It's probably another month or so out before they do a soft opening. So when I initially booked the trip, I was kind of just hoping like, oh, maybe that'll be open and I can do Universal Hollywood. But for that, since most of the rides there are the same as Orlando or very similar outside of the tram tour. Yep.
Anyway, sorry.
So yeah, I'm most likely going to just hold off on Universal and go whenever I'm in LA again, which will probably be soon because I really want to ride that new coaster.
Cool. And speaking of new theme parks, did you hear that there's a Minecraft theme park coming to the UK in 2027?
I saw the link you sent me in Chessington, yep. Okay, so it's going into World of Adventures.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes much more sense.
Not just an entire Minecraft park by itself. It's going to be a land for an
Yeah, I was going to say, like, why would they compete against, like, a relatively big theme park that's already there?
Right here with you. Your suffering only brought us closer together.
Fuck you.
If you had told me when I played Black Ops 2 10 years ago that this is where Black Ops would go, I would have laughed and said you were taking crazy pills. Demonic Menendez just laughed at me.
I'm not super knowledgeable about Call of Duty campaigns, but this seems dumb even for Call of Duty.
Yeah, no, this was fucking dumb for Call. This is fucking dumb.
I played a bunch of the Black Ops 6 campaign, and I enjoyed that one. Like, it wasn't anything groundbreaking, but it was like a fun time. But this is just like, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, no, I have no idea what's supposed to be going on either. It's just literally, let's throw a bunch of smoke monsters and robots in here and briefly reference Menendez, and that's the story. I mean, the thing is that Menendez actually meant something. He was the embodiment of, like, a colonized person understandably lashing out, but doing so in terroristic revenge. Which, like, the idea was you understood why, because his sister was murdered by American troops, but, you know, killing innocent civilians is wrong for anybody. That should be obvious, but that is not now. Because people have decided to pick sides about which civilians matter on social media. And it's all fucking atrocious. And now I just am fighting smoke monsters and superpowers because Call of Duty can't really say anything else without causing a bunch of controversy. Like, apparently, for a future Pixar movie that's going to be coming out, a studio note has been, don't show divorce. It's like everybody's just afraid to say anything that means something without offending somebody. Not like, you know, oh, let's go back to the days when everybody was hateful to everybody and, you know, you could say whatever stupid shit you want, but like, I feel like theme itself is unraveling in a lot of modern storytelling in favor of perfect characters who do not have any flaws, who fight ridiculous villains. Or quote-unquote relatable villains who you actually want to win because, well, they're relatable. But in a story, you should not root for the villain to win, unless they have a very specific point with that. And not just because, oh, well, our heroes actually suck. And that's not the intention. Like, I don't think Menendez in real life ever laughed maniacally like this. That's just so cartoonish. I mean, this is a series that had freaking Napoleon quotes on the screen when you died. A lot. Yep. To the point where it got annoying sometimes. But as I said at the beginning of the show, that I recorded before you even got on while we're warming up with the multiplayer, Call of Duty used to be about the fact that war wasn't easy, for real. Because, well, you know, I think, I still need to watch another Vincent Pella masterpiece that actually got some sort of BAFTA. I think it got a BAFTA award. The documentary that comes with the VR game for Medal of Honor that interviewed real survivors of World War II. If that hadn't been on VR systems, I think it would have done gangbusters in terms of sales. But that was the only way that they would make a risk, is if, like, there was a bunch of money being paid off to people. And you know what? It looks like we are done with this mission, so we'll just take a few minutes to wrap and then I'll let you go.
Yeah, I'll at least, I guess, see this cutscene.
Yeah. Mysterious toxin threatens Avalon.
No. Oh yes? If they're the evil people?
the guild. So Avalon is the nation, which is supposed to be very Spanish, Mediterranean coded, and then the guild are the bad guys who are connected to the other bad guys who are connected to other bad guys. I'm like, whatever at this point.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it.
I don't remember any of you except for Mason, either, of our squad.
Hours? There's no way.
So, wait, they're actually evacuating people? What?
It'll just happen to us.
Seems like that gas fucked with our chips.
That's possible. Our readings are normal now. What next, sir?
But at some point we're gonna be in mindfuckery land again. I know this because I know the final boss is gonna be stupid. Like, Batman...
I've seen clips of the final boss.
Batman in Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, stupid for those who don't know, because it's literally just giant enemies standing around and yelling at you, attacking occasionally. That also was a perversion of a series that tried to say something.
Got anything on the Menendez
in order to wield its corpse to make money. That's what late-stage capitalism is being right now. It's just selling fun and nostalgia back to you in pieces that are being shoved in your face. And I mean, like, those pieces are really annoying to install and stuff, so yeah, I guess we can play this at some point.
I had a good time with that, honestly. Like, I much prefer that to, like, Warzone. I do like, you know, occasional competitive multiplayer, like, you know, traditional Call of Duty as well, but I definitely have a good time with co-op in these games. So, yeah, I'd be down to play more if you are. If not, you know, no big deal. I can always play on my own at some point.
You know, I probably will play with you because it's the only way that I could see myself suffering through this game, is laughing my ass off with you. But, I need to figure out, before I let you go, if, let's see, if Roadside Research is on Game Pass for PC, and I could download that.
Oh, on PC, yeah.
Yeah, just download that. But anyway, okay, yeah, no, I did install it actually. So I'm really excited to play that next time. That definitely won't be anytime this week because of the trip.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit because, like, the day that I get back from the trip, I'm flying back in pretty late at night, and then I work the next, like, 2 days, I believe, so it might be a few days after that, too.
Well,
so let's say, like, a couple weeks.
I'm getting into New York on the 29th, and then staying until that Sunday, so probably not that week then. But hey, SunnyRedemption Sailing is your bi-weekly voyage for BS3 gaming news anyway. So thanks for sailing with Sunny Redemption. You have a good one, Kev.
Yeah. See ya. Have a good one. Enjoy your trip, and I'll enjoy mine.
All right. Can't wait to hear about it, and send some clips for sure and pictures.
Cool.
All right. Bye-bye.
Later.